Yeah, so Ankit, you've been with the developer ecosystem, you've seen it growing, you hired people, you were CTO previously. So, what do you think where we stand currently? What does the ecosystem need?
So one thing is, of course, we are seeing freshers who are coming out, or other students who are a big part of the ecosystem. They are contributing more in terms of the hands-on stuff that they are building, as compared to, let's say, 6 or 7 years back when I graduated. There were people still waiting to get into a company and get trained for 3 months, and then do some hands-on programming. That is worth something, and not just
Yeah.
palindrome program, but. Uh, so the system is building. I see a lot of participation in the online communities, people helping each other out, especially with this the boom which of apps that we have seen in the recent 2 or 3 years, 4 years. That has contributed a lot more to everyone getting involved and building out even a small utility app, or any kind of a content based app very quickly on their own. So I think what we need in the ecosystem more are just more mentors, more people to take out their time and explain or help these new developers. I work very closely right now with the app ecosystem, and they need some insights into how to grow an app, or what are the different tools that they can leverage. You have so many SDKs for analytics, for deep linking, and other stuff. So what to use, what not to use. What are the experiences of others? Even on the web, I think the tech on the web has changed very fast as compared to what it was few years back. People were still doing on LAMP stack. I was a Microsoft .NET stack developer, then moved on to LAMP stack, mean stack. So that switch is happening very fast now, and I'm happy to see people getting more technologically agnostic. They are not bogged down by, hey, I'm a Java developer, hey, I'm a PHP developer. I see a lot of people saying, hey, I'm a full stack developer. Ask me what needs to be developed, and I'll develop that. So I think that is what has evolved, and that has is contributing more to people collaborating together on different languages, different projects.
And if you're talking about apps, so how many more apps can we take?
That's a pretty interesting question. So, uh, some people think and believe that the app ecosystem is saturated now. But if you look at it, we still have way more websites as compared to apps right now.
Yeah.
So there are a few problems that need to be fixed. Apps are not easily discoverable. The only way to grow the app is either you do a very good, ASO on the App Store, get it to the top of the charts. But that area is very crowded. There are 45,000 apps, I think, that get into the stores every month. So that's a stiff competition. The other way is you do inorganic growth and you spend money, but not everyone will have those deep pockets.
Yeah.
So there are these. There will be a common ground that needs to be established between the web and the app, because web has the strength of discoverability. You can still quickly search the content which is there on the web. App has greatest strength in re-engagement, because you know that once a user has your app, you will be able to re-engage that user easily, and experience a little bit is better on the app right now. But there are a lot of people working on the hybrid app thing. So I think apps are still going to be there, but the boundary between mobile web, let's say, not on the desktop, mobile web and apps is going to get a more transparent, and the jump from here to there will become easier.
Okay.
And in fact, Branch is doing is building stuff which helps you do that, but I'm sure there's still a lot more that we can do.
Okay. So Harshad, what are your thoughts on that?
So Indian market is highly inspired by the US value market. So what usually happens, you have been covering this in US for a long time. So Indian apps take some model out of US, try to build here and go ahead. There is two clear differences that I see. The mobile market in India is more towards a product marketing kind of market, where the US market that I see is a mobile marketing market. So when you see people coming from Ola and a lot of other apps, they're taking these apps as concepts as and products, FMCG products, or products that you use in a daily message, and the kind of promotions that you do, TV promotions, radio promotions, BTL activations, a lot other stuff. It is almost like any other product that you use in a day-to-day basis. At that end point, it becomes fairless as a utility based marketing but as a product marketing. Whereas what Ankit also said, ASO part and lot other growth hacks are there, actual growth hacks that take a lot of it in the value market. So probably again coming to the utility, as you said, how many apps can we have? Probably my take would be an, as long as any app is really a utility for me and it gets me back into the app. So I had this interesting discussion with one of the guys at one of the panels. So he told me that his friend is working on a poetry app, a very simple app, a poetry app wherein you at the end of the day, anywhere you can just go probably read poems from the other users on the platform, as well as you can write and add to the thing. It barely has some 20k 30k users. However, he has AdSense AdMob enabled and he is churning a lot more money through that app through ads. Probably a user for that app, until and unless he's getting that value from him, poetry app basically I want to share whatever the value it might be, those ads might not be concerning, a different proposition altogether. But ultimately this all depends on what the app publisher wants to achieve. So as Ankit rightly said, I can take it to probably 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, but do I have those deep pockets? And how I want to grow? Do I want to impose a product on you and make it a habit molding thing for you, or I want you to come back to the app and drive the value out of the app?
And yeah, any word for the developers out here?
I'm really excited, and they are experimenting with the different kinds of technology. I see people talking about VR and things like that right now, IoT, wherein some embedded hardware. So it is good to see developers using these different stacks. At the Exotel is here. They have a very good APIs on the telephony APIs.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So it's good to see people stitching all that together. And my advice is the boundaries are smaller now. You can do all of these things together, and it's exciting to see.
Yeah, so it is really exciting to see. I had a word with a couple of teams yesterday. So they are working on bots, they are working on chatbots, they are trying to reach each of those things that's happening all around them. And at such stage, when a platform like this is enabling to do stuff where other people, so even what HP Heaven is offering, the different kind of APIs you are having for doing all sort of machine learning and AI work, I think this is a very good enabler. And yes, all the best to all of the guys.
Okay. Thank you so much, Harshit. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Judith.
you, Zubin. Thank you.